Welcome everybody to episode 232 of the You Can't Comp This NBA Trading Card Podcast. We're your hosts Adam Amy and Russell Gibson. And Russell, you've returned with a guest.
I didn't bring him back from Bali though.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm Oyvind. Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming, man.
It's a pleasure. Looking forward to it.
I think we should just do a quick run through of what we're going to talk about this week.
Yeah, why not? We've got a run sheet for a reason.
That's it. So I think we're going to spend a lot of time breaking down this Kobe Jordan mega auction that just finished on Heritage Auctions last week.
Is this the one that we're now just suckering into everybody else's mainstream nonsense? It's the only thing anyone's talking about.
I think we should definitely talk about that, how it has crossed over to the mainstream. Yeah.
It has.
We're going to talk about Oyvind and his collecting habits, because I think you completed a massive set in the last, 2 weeks or so?
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago now. So yeah, happy to talk about that. It was, long time coming. So very happy.
So it was a light blue set of Prizm from 2014?
15-16 Prizm, light blue Prizm. So it was the base set of that. So cards 1 to 300. Number to 199. Pretty nice to have them all at home now.
Great.
What a set, Chase.
So we're going to hear more about that. We're going to hear about Fast Break Trading Cards and their trading day that they recently had, and then just a whole bunch of random news. We're going to talk about Malik Beasley, some Jokic stuff. We're going to talk about Ken Golden telling us how what Fanatics is doing is unfair. I found a crazy Twitter post about the Phoenix Suns and their owner, who I actually think he's taking something at this point. Draymond Green versus Dennis Rodman. I think that'll be a fun one. And then we'll just see if we've got time to get through all to this. But we've got a Jordan to close with, as always.
We've always got a Jordan. I reckon, given the sale, we should just alternate it between Jordan and Kobe.
Yeah, we could.
I'm kidding. I just wanted Kobe in there.
Yeah, we can start doing that. I mean, it's not that we don't talk about Kobe.
Alrighty. Well, let's start the show with Kobe and Jordan, because this has been a hell of a topic, hasn't it?
Yes, I think for me, it came around quite quickly. I think, me being out of the country for sort of 10 days or so, that did definitely influence that. But the final sale was for $10.6 million, which was the flat price.
Mm-hmm.
When you then add in the buyer's premium, it goes to $12.932 million. So it set a new record for NBA cards, which I think it's good, and I actually feel like we were overdue for that record to be, reestablished or, created again.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting here, though, is actually to go back and look at this card, the sales history. So I found this from multiple different sources on the internet, and to be honest, I didn't write them all down to credit them all, but
that's
probably
fair.
The big one was Adam Gray, and we spoke about this. Did we talk about this in the last show? But basically, he did a post about how the guy that sold it for $176,000, the person that he sold it to then went back to him and gave him a Jordan exquisite patch autograph just to say thank you for all the things that you do for the hobby.
Oh, I vaguely remember talking about this.
Then knowing that he was then going to go on and sell it. And look, who knows if he knew he was going to get $10 million for it. But
there's no way on earth anybody knew they were getting $10 million for this card.
So, Han, what was our predictions? I was like 8 for me. I felt very confident in saying that. What did you call?
You were solid 8. I was 5 to 6.
Yeah.
I thought, there's no way. It was. Yeah, I was.
Where
wrong.
were you at, Oyvind?
I was very wrong.
Well, I figured you might know people, you might have an idea, have some inside information. If you're going to sell that card, you might, know that it's going to be at a certain level. But yeah, it was higher than I thought.
Yeah.
I think over 5 million, you're already
it's a crazy number, isn't it?
Entering crazy money. The fact that it exceeded $10 million US.
Yeah.
And not to convert it to Australian dollars, even after the buyer's premium, we're talking over $17 million Australian.
Yeah. So
I can't contextualize it.
Yeah, it's wild money, isn't it? It's just ridiculous, huge money. I've done this all back to front, and that's very you can't comp this, but in 2014 it sold for $25,000. In 2016 it sold for $170,000, which is the sale that we're just talking about when the Jordan was reversed. Traded into the deal, and then in 2025, for $10.6 million plus the buyer's premium. So I think the timing for me of this is a little bit interesting. And also when you look back on it, it kind of makes a bit more sense because you had Mr. Wonderful, aka Kevin O'Leary, or I should say Kevin O'Leary, aka Mr. Wonderful. And I think where I know that guy from is from Shark Tank. So if you guys are familiar with, also too, I've told you guys this like before. I'm a YouTube TV tragic, so there's heaps of clips on YouTube about Shark Tank, and obviously Mark Cuban's on that show, occasionally too. He formed a group with two other buyers, which was Matt Allen, or aka Shine, and this other guy called Paul Warshaw, who I was unfamiliar with, but I actually found his like an equivalent of what's that business Facebook page?
Marketplace,
like LinkedIn. It's like a LinkedIn equivalent, but it's called the org, and it shows you all of the things that he's done in the past, and it basically just sounds like he's a entrepreneurial guy who started up a bunch of different companies. He's just put his foot into some medicinal marijuana companies. So obviously he's into these sort of alternate sort of, investing streams. He's got a music background. And so he's in this investing group. What Kevin O'Leary said was that they didn't want to bid against each other. So they formed their own little like group.
Yeah.
And
that suggests that there was another group or another person that was bidding with
took the words out of my mouth. Exactly. So for it to get to 10 million, those three guys obviously chipped in together, but it also means there was someone else that bid it up to that. You're exactly right about
other
that.
Groups,
So I kind of wonder if what this would have got to if those three guys didn't get together, would it have actually gone for higher? Because if you had this Dennis O'Leary guy, bidding against Shine, I think that's a really interesting like dynamic. And I probably think this is the first thing we should talk about. Is this kind of the new thing that is going to be happening in sports cards? Because he'd been on TV. Sorry, when I say he, I'm talking about Mr. Wonderful. And he was talking about how sports cards are this sort of new alternative investment that, we should now be looking at. We should be taking it seriously. And he was comparing it to like Andy Warhol art pieces, saying that the super high-end pieces of artwork, you buy them for $1 million and then in 10 years you sell them for 10 million. Like that's the type of investment he's looking at here. So, and if that's the case, is he then prospecting that this card's going to be $100 million in 10 years? Like that part of it, either I don't understand it because, I'm not in those business circles and I can't comprehend that volume of money, or I just don't see it multiplying out the way that he's projecting it to in that sort of period of time.
I don't know about the projection, but I think it's very much to do with, and I've seen some, because of obviously all the media attention this is getting, I've seen reports where they're talking about collectibles having their own category of asset.
Yeah.
Like they're actually becoming a tangible asset now. It's not you've got some collector cards. It's not just a hobby for some people. Look,
for some cards, I actually can understand that happening, definitely.
But even if we're like, you reduce it back from the $10.6 million, right?
Yeah.
Even if there is a lot of cards at that $100,000 mark,
I was going to say, but
that's not pocket change. Even $10,000 cards. These are like, if you're talking about cardboard that is worth, and you just go around, you just get a trading card from anywhere and go, if this little cardboard is worth a house deposit.
Yeah.
Like, just as I said, I was having trouble contextualizing it. Seeing a bit of cardboard like that with a number on it, PSA 10, whatever, I could go and give this to I can exchange this for enough liquidity to put a deposit down on a house. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like when you talk about it like that, it's like picking apart a sport really literally and what you actually do. But can you comprehend doing that? Like having a bit of cardboard that you kept away for years, and then one day it's worth that much more money. Like I'll give you the 175K thing. That's 7x in 2 years, right?
Yeah. That's
so
fantastic
175K to 10.6 million.
Yeah.
That's 60x in 9 years.
That's damn delicious, isn't it? Yeah.
So even if this is a blip where it's gone up, there's this gradual growth that shows that trading cards are a better long-term investment than stocks. Obviously, you need to have the right ones, and
So yeah, I think that's the perfect analogy, though. It's the same with shares and stocks, isn't it? Not everyone is going to be a winner. I think the same can be said about basketball cards, and the easy one to point out here is the junk wax era of the 90s.
Sure. Yeah. Perfect.
And however you want to describe the current junk wax era that we're going through, whether
junk
it be the
slab, I think,
junk
is
slabs
what we've come
or
to.
junk wax and junk retail that we're currently sort of experiencing
the retail era
at the end of Panini anyway. So Oyvind, have you got any thoughts around this, man?
The interesting thing for me was, when I was thinking of that sort of space in the past, it was the old classic baseball Mickey Mantle kind of stuff that existed in that sort of
upper
high
tier.
end.
Yeah.
And now this is a modern basketball card. That's kind of a shift for me. Like I didn't realize, that it was.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah, I think that particular card is special in the sense that it's 2 game-worn Logomans, also from an athlete that is no longer with us. I think that does somewhat maybe accelerate the timeline through a little bit in what you're talking about, in that being that sort of more modern card. I definitely think that so I think what you're talking about, Adam, then too, is about the amount of money that's been spent into it. And then if you're talking about asset class, I personally wonder about this. And look, maybe I've been on Instagram too much. So we've spoken about this guy before, this J Bell SHHB guy, who basically just talks about different conspiracies and different ways that people are getting ripped off. And so he was actually even prospecting like that Jordan card. He's like, how do you prove that was game worn by Jordan and game worn by Kobe? So even he is like speculating on the authenticity of that card. And by the way, just for the record, I don't agree with his current conspiracy theory on this. Like, I don't think he's got anything to prove it. But it's more to the point. It's like, okay, so if guys are spending $12 million on it, you would hope that there is some checks and balances in place. And if you're talking about now these becoming an asset class, and you talk about regulating the hobby, maybe this is going to be the thing that comes out of it. So if people are putting $1 million into this stuff, they want to know that they're getting. I can't imagine these guys are.
Do you know
that
what
much
I
fools,
find really funny that we had the issues with the fake memorabilia not long ago, and then all of a sudden, this has come, and the price of this card on Panini's guarantee has gone for over $10 million.
Upper deck, but yeah, for sure.
No, but sorry, upper deck, but a modern basketball card.
Correct, yeah.
That has a little thing on the back that says, we guarantee this card.
Yeah.
Because we all know how good their word can be.
Well, actually, like, in some ways, that actually speaks to my soul a little bit, because I trust basketball cards more than I trust memorabilia. I just, whether this is a wrong or a right opinion, I feel more safe in a basketball card that it can be less easily manipulated than like a jersey that just has like a sticker for authenticity on it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that does influence how much money is being spent in this space, but that's just my sort of feeling on that. So I wrote down a couple of other notes, and I feel like I'll just sort of blurt these out and you guys can give your feedback on it. It's huge money coming from outside of the hobby. So these aren't collectors. Like, this is flipping at its ultimate form. And he said that straight up. He's buying this as a high-end investment, and he's buying it because he thinks it has the most chance to make him the most money. This guy is not. He's not for the hobby. I mean, is he for the hobby? Like, I don't know. Like, I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on this, because.
Yeah. Well, it gives the market a bit of confidence, right? That money exists. Whether it's within the hobby or from outside, there is a market for it. If you want to play in that space and spend some money, there are other people who are doing it.
Yeah.
It might bring in some more people. I'm not sure it has a lot to say for my collecting and my hobby, but it's probably good.
I think it's good overall for the hobby. I think if more people are putting money into it, I think that's always a good thing for us. I think particularly if you're already in the hobby and you have some things that might be like positively affected by it. Like, the obvious and the easy one here to talk about are Kobe's. Yeah. Do you have Kobe's now sitting in your cupboard that have now just doubled overnight because, Mr. Wonderful says, Kobe Bryant autos are, the one to collect, and, it's the hot thing to sell at the moment, I think the other thing I think is interesting to talk about, which we've kind of already talked about, is how they join together to not bid against each other. But actually, I think, and I probably should add this in now, what I think is more interesting is that I think it's really important that Shine was in on this deal, because if you're from outside of the hobby and you are like, you know nothing, but you've got all the money, you do need that consultant that can tell you like, which is the right card to get, how is the right way to go dealing, doing these big deals. And I feel like someone like Shine, like you've seen this guy's collection. I feel like his base card is like a Jordan autograph. Like that's the worst card that guy's gotten into his collection, so he knows how to do these big deals. He knows, where to buy them from, all that type of stuff. And then I think the final dot point I'll put out to you guys is the trickle down effect. What's the trickle down effect going to be for the hobby? What's the trickle down effect going to be for the flippers? We can talk about the flippers too. I think that's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't have Kobe's, or very few, so probably little direct impact. I'll talk about Kobe a bit later when it comes to my collecting. But I guess I'm just some steps removed from that sort of space where I don't have those hugely valuable Kobe's or otherwise.
Yeah, I think you can talk about it in a way that of just observational. It doesn't have to be like about personal experience.
From your personal collection,
Yeah. I mean, the trickle down effect, I'm sure there is some. Like, I think, whether it's Kobe or other players, probably LeBron coming up to retirement, that's going to, something exciting could happen there, I imagine. There's going to be some big deals going on. And everyone has, some LeBrons stashed away, or most people do, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it could get interesting in the next few years.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Ed?
Well, I've got a comment from the live feed. Anthony Milne is watching on YouTube.
Hello, Anthony.
To me, it's more of a statement that Kobe and MJ are more valuable than LeBron.
I mean, that could be a trickle.
And then he also said there might be we might need for a ranking system like the Mantle card, with regards to values and stuff. But I think there is an impact.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not sure what the LeBron impact is. I think people are watching with bated breath. I think Kobe's starting to get the on-flow effect, obviously, because
I think
no more autos.
That's the easy pickings here. The trickle-down effect is Kobe. Like, it has to be.
Yeah. And because Kobe is no longer with us,
yeah.
I mean, Jordan might be reluctant to sign, but Kobe can't. And that's as simple as that. Yeah.
I really feel like, though, Ad, we've talked about this. Like, we were like, a couple of years ago, Kobe's were $300.
Oh, yeah. I know the on-flow effect is Kobe's are only going up. Yeah.
It's so dumb, isn't it? Now you look back at it, you're like, of course, like, these autographs were going to go up. It's so...
But this is where...
I feel stupid sometimes. Where I'm like, I feel like we see these things and yet we don't put our money into it.
Yeah.
It's like,
But we go from a place where... God, and I remember it was about 50 episodes ago I did this, maybe even more, when I was talking about, I was giving every basketball player 3 digits and calling them stocks. But the KOB or the Kobe stock is about to go through the roof.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the Tesla stock, right?
Wow.
Like you're talking. Are you
talking about pre-Musk going crazy or before? Yeah. You're
talking about like stock in Apple is Michael Jordan. If you'd got it when it was cheap, cool. You're going to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
I don't know about LeBron. Like I know LeBron will be very valuable, but I think LeBron put himself on Rushmore. I don't think everybody else is putting LeBron on there. And I'm not going to throw shade at LeBron because I do think being this good for this long is an amazing feat.
Yeah.
But I think he's drawn a lot of the narrative rather than just let his game do the talking. So the other person I think is going to be affected by this, and this isn't by our generation of collectors, this is 15, 20 years from now, when there's another Adam and Russell doing a podcast about way back when the legends like Steph Curry played basketball, is Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Right? The kids that are turning 18 now that grew up in junior basketball being idolizing Steph Curry will think just as fondly. And I think there's sort of a generational couple of players. We've been spoiled in the 90s and the 2000s so far. But there's a lot of them. And
we've been very blessed in this era for sure.
You joke about the likely, and I'll segue quickly. Damian Lillard has had a really great career and all, but there's no hobby love for him.
Definitely
because he hasn't won anything. Like everyone pays on projected outcome these days. So unless they actually solidify themselves, Jokic is no joke. Like he's holding value at the moment, but traditionally bigs do drop off a little bit. The question is who are going to be those players that are collectible and memorable for their point in history. And I think Kobe's obviously solidified. Jordan is solidified.
Yeah, Jordan's an interesting one because he's so popular already and he's already so collected. So I kind of find it hard to understand how that's going to change it so much, but I definitely think it reinforces it. I think the other one actually we need to talk about too is Logomans. Look, they're already collectible
for sure.
They're already expensive, At the same time, I really think that's going to turn some collectors into buying more Logoman and just putting them away. I think that will be a thing. The other really interesting sort of topical thing at the moment is Mosaic Hobby has Logoman in it. So Panini are just loading boxes at the moment. They've just released a product. It's called Silhouette. It's I think it's 7 memorabilia cards and 1 autograph per box. Don't quote me on that, but it's sort of in that ballpark of like a cheaper noir where you get sort of multiple hits out of the box, and they're putting Logoman into that. And so, the current sort of thing at the moment is people are, just wanting to buy up this product and, go into breaks for it and la, la, la. And I kind of wonder if, again, it's very topical. We've just seen this Jordan, Kobe, Logoman go for, really big dollars. Can collectors kind of, join those dots in their heads together? And I really actually think the answer is yes, because... at the end of the day, I feel like, we've talked about this before too. It's like, what is collectible? What is going to be collectible in a few years? And I feel like we've had this massive big auction, Logoman is going to be something that kabooms, PMGs, Logomans is, it's going to be all in the same sentence. Oyvind, give us your final thoughts on this and we'll go to a break and we'll move on.
You mentioned Jokic. I think that's a good call. Like, he's not someone who's driving his own narrative like LeBron, right? He's just lets his game do the talking. And I feel like
racing horses, you have to talk about that too.
Well,
and drinking.
He becomes this sort of cult figure almost because he's not the one in front of the cameras and doing his documentaries and what have you. He's just an excellent basketball player. And I think, 10, 20 years from now, he'll be, high up there on the list.
Yeah.
So in terms of players, I think he's a good call.
Yeah.
I think Jokic is redefining what a big man is or what a big man can do. And Curry, well, I've spoken enough about Curry in the last 4 years to everybody knows the impact that Stephen Curry's had on this league. So are we going to a break? We go. Oh, is it on me to do the first break? Oh, okay, great. I haven't actually prepared the read, but yes. So the first break today is brought to you by Fast Break Trading Cards. I went to their trade day.
Tell us about it, man.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was just like when we went to the first birthday celebration. The community down there are nothing short of incredible.
Yeah, and I saw some of the videos. They look like they killed it again. Yeah.
It's a community-built environment,
yeah.
But that community wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for John and Alvaro and their team there.
Yeah.
It's nothing like other card shops have locals, regulars, but going along to there, you sort of feel part of the family, and that's it's very different. It's an experience. It's not just a business. So, and that's the only way I can describe it. Every time I go down there, it's an experience talking to the guys. Doesn't matter if they're working or not. The young ones that work there behind the counter, they do an incredible job. They can advise you on Pokemon, football, soccer, NFL, like everything. You want accessories, you want products, you want singles. They got boxes,
card grading.
They can sort you out for card grading. What can't they do, really?
Did you get any trades done?
I got a couple of trades done. What'd
you get done?
What was it? It was a Shaq in the end, I think I got.
Okay.
But
you're going to flip it to Joe?
Probably. No.
Yeah.
No, it was a PSA 9. He won't be interested.
That's right.
No, I had a lot of questions about grassroots collecting there, and I tell you what, they do one hell of a job of, I guess, paying it forward, and it is about the experience. And the only way we retain collectors is by supporting grassroots collecting. Seeing children running around, there's a sausage sizzle on, and they're all wiping their hands and not wrecking their cards. I didn't see any rubber bands out there. Everybody had folders, but everyone had a good time.
Yeah.
I went there with some genuine curiosity because I don't understand the Pokemon boom. So I asked questions about Pokemon.
Yeah.
It was really insightful.
Did anyone say to you stay away from it because it's peaking at the moment, so it's sort of a bad time to buy it?
So I went to a couple of Pokemon collectors and I asked them, I said, what is the one bit of advice you'd give to someone that is considering buying Pokemon cards? And their advice was don't.
Yeah. I'm seeing more and more of that on the in the internet at the moment.
But overall, it's very simple. There's a lot of parallels, pop count and things like that, and popularity. I did go and ask everybody about things like I compared it to basketball, of course. Said, are there power rankings? There are 1,025 Pokemon, so there are power rankings. Charizard is right up there at number 1. Umbreon, I found, was very popular as well.
Okay.
Pikachu. There are some classic favorites, but Charizard still rules the roost. But the big thing I found was don't collect it as an investment. Collect what you want to collect. So if you enjoy the game or you enjoy the television show, collect the Pokemon you want to collect. So you can actually get into it and enjoy it the way you want to enjoy it. I was really confused by the end of it because I thought it was a trading card game and no one knew how to play the game. So everyone just collected their favorite Pokemon. Yeah. I thought it was a beautiful community experience, but I'm still terrified of the investment side. But back to Fast Break.
Thank you, lads.
They put on a hell of a show. I cannot speak highly enough of these guys, and I am going to call them out on the show right again. Alvaro told me at the trade day that he will start regularly coming on the show to tell us about upcoming releases.
Okay.
So we'll be in touch with the lads and hopefully we can get to the inside scoop about some of the cards that are coming out.
Go to fastbreaktradingcards.com for all your card collecting memorabilia needs. Thanks, guys, for the ongoing support. All right, we're back. Oyvind, this is all about you. The reason why we had you come on to this week's show is because of your fantastic set that you did finish. And I wanted to talk to you about the perspective or your ideology around collecting, because I think sometimes the current narrative can be around flipping too much or investors too much. And I think it's just good to actually hear from somebody that... So I think you do the collecting side, well. And I think this is something we can talk about a little bit later on too, about budget management. Because my observation of you is, you've been in the game for a long time. You go into breaks, you do your sales, you do your auctions, and you sort of just manage everything out. And I think that my observation of people that sort of stick around in the hobby, for the time that I've seen you in it, is that they have that sort of ecosystem, or they have that balance around it too. So that was probably the two things I wanted to talk to you and get your insights about, because I think it's just it's interesting, it's valuable, I think. So
yeah, happy to talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about set collecting first, because that's the big one.
Yeah, so like a week or two ago, I posted some photos on various socials of that set that I completed. So the 15-16 Prizm Light Blue set, so cards 1 to 300. So they're numbered to 199, and I got the final one in the mail just like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So it took me a little while to take all the individual photos of each card, and splice them together.
How long did that take you to do?
A couple of hours, probably. Yeah.
That's decent.
It was decent, yeah, but it's 300 cards. So it's going to take a little while.
Do you use an app for it, or do you just do it like with the camera in Photoshop?
Camera, like mobile phone camera, actually. So I should have, a better setup for that, some sort of tripod and stationary setup, but I don't. So it's a bit tricky. It takes a little while, but it's worth it.
That's huge. It's awesome. There's a big set too, wasn't it? 15-16. I'm just trying to think. Is that Jokic's first appearance?
Yeah, so it's Jokic rookie year. So the cards 1 to 300 is not the rookies. I wish it was. So there's there's another 100 cards after the sort of base set, where there's rookies, and then there's some subsets of like all stars and defensive teams or whatever. Yeah, all NBA. So those are the last 100 cards. So I've just done the sort of vets and retired players 1 to 300. So no rookies.
Okay.
It's Jokic, and it's pretty much Jokic, I guess. Yeah, Booker might cost a little bit as well.
So, but like, what's your motivation to do a project like that? Because it's it's a long time, it's a big commitment
project, yeah,
and financially too. I feel like, if in my opinion or my experience, it's just an absolute money pit doing these collections. And I personally think you never get your money back on them. So it's not an investment piece. Like, that's the other thing too. So
I don't think sets sell, right? Oh, maybe I should hit up some auction houses now. But that's my experience, is that they don't sell very well. People want their PC player, and that's it. They don't care about the 299 others, which is fine. I guess I find it good to sort of have lists and tick things off and have something to complete.
Yeah.
I don't have a PC player or PC team. I just set collect, and I guess it's more focused a little bit for me. There's always the next set, and you have multiple sets going, but
how many sets are you currently chasing at the moment?
It's around the 100 sort of 100 set mark. Some of them not all that serious, and certainly they're not.
I love how you're like casually cards. Just like I am just casually collecting 100 different sets. Like,
a lot of them are 20 card sets, inserts, subsets, that sort of stuff. It's not huge base sets. So
you need to make sure your wife doesn't listen to this, man. I kind of feel like just blown any cover that you had.
Yeah, no cover. That's okay. I do really like large base sets though, because it gives a nice snapshot of the league at the time.
Yeah.
So you look through it and you see, Patty Mills was, he was in Spurs obviously, but whoever was at that team and this team and this guy, I forgot he played, like he left.
Agree. Yeah, it's a really good snapshot in time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I really enjoy that part.
Yeah.
So those large base sets are really good for that. And this particular one had 60 retired players, which is pretty, you don't really get that many retired players in those sets. It doesn't really go past, Magic and Larry Bird and that small group. But here you had like Rip Hamilton, you had Michael Redd, and it was a bit of an extended list.
There was a lot, cool. Yeah. Prizm do extend it a little bit, but this set in particular, yeah.
But so that was nice.
That's interesting to me, because I feel like in those older sets, I don't remember it being padded out the way it is now. So, which is obviously my memory's faulty, because basically you're telling me it's like a 400 card set.
Yeah.
Which seems to me a lot.
It's a really large set, but they did have less parallels. It wasn't padded out as much in that way.
Yeah.
It wasn't, the 40 different color variations.
Yeah.
There was
I would rather more players than parallels. Like, if I had a choice between the two, like I actually don't understand why they don't give every rookie a
parallels.
card.
The unnumbered parallels confuse me. I honestly don't understand why they want to just create additional unlimited product.
I think that is the answer, though.
Yeah. They want to create
undiscounted. Yeah, this the more parallels, the more cards they can print, and the more they can theoretically sell.
This is a very. I'm reading through the checklist right now. Mark Eaton, James Worthy, Ron Seekley.
So, why don't you tell us about some of your advice on how to complete sets, or because you told me some stuff offline about some of the hard cards to collect. Why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about that? Because I think that's interesting too.
I think I met you, Russ, like a couple of years ago in Melbourne. And I think at that point, 2 years ago, I was missing 5 cards. It was taking me 2 years to find those last 5 cards.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the very last one...
Sorry to interrupt. Are you telling me it was 2 years ago we had dinner?
I think so.
Oh, God. Yeah. We're a bit overdue.
Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Yeah. So the last one I couldn't find was Michael Redd.
Wow.
And for years and years and years, it just never showed up. I'm guessing it's because people can't be bothered putting him on eBay because there's no market for him.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's it. There was one card on eBay the whole time, PSA 10, 150 USD. I'm like, well, I'm not paying that for Michael Redd. It might as well not exist. Like,
did you offer him like $20 or $25?
No, I don't think there was an offer.
An offer thing. You just PM him and gone, come on, mate.
Eventually, just a raw one came up. I can't remember.
Beautiful.
It was $10 or whatever, and I, didn't hesitate, of course. And now,
so auction or buy it now?
but it was buy now.
Oh wow, you must have been so happy.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
And now, like the other week, I checked, and there's like 3 or 4 Michael Red of that exact card on eBay.
Okay.
Like, where have they been?
Oh, someone was waiting. They're like, "Oh my god, one sold for $10."
Yeah,
you ripper. We're on the list house. There's a demand.
Yeah.
Are you tempted to buy more of them?
No.
No.
So, hang on a second. You're doing 100 different sets. How many auto alerts on eBay have you got?
0.
Ah.
Yeah, I don't. There's a couple of cards that I check for very regularly that I'm missing, like just the one card.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I kind of a bit more casual about it. Like I'll just, sometimes we'll.
So you just put the set in and just go through eBay for that set, for argument's sake.
Yeah.
Cool.
Or ComC,
I was going to say, surely you do ComC, don't you?
ComC is just the best for lower end, mid end. Like I could not have done that set without
that ComC,
that platform.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Facebook groups is a bit trickier. You can find stuff, but if you're looking for very specific cards, it's tricky to find them.
It's so random what comes up, isn't it?
It's very random.
Yeah.
I think that's where I get them from. eBay and ComC. That's the main thing.
You put into the sheet here about low end appreciation. Talk to us about that, because I'm all about this too, by the way.
Well, I like it. One obvious reason is that I can't afford the higher end cards. We all love the Kabooms and Color Blasts and RPAs. Like, would absolutely love to have an RPA set or something. It would be amazing. And if you're in the hobby, you can't be completely disconnected from value. Like, it's just so intricately connected. Yeah. But it sometimes clouds people's judgment, I think, and myself too, like, because it becomes so much about the value. So I try to use the lower end set collecting as a sort of reminder to just look at the cards themselves.
Nice.
They can be appreciated in a way that's not about value, and I think we all have that, at some level. Particularly if you did it as a kid, if you collected as a kid, it's there.
But it's just taking that time to actually sit down and appreciate them and go through them. I think that's the catch, isn't it? And it's just so tempting to look at a big boy, out of your special box. Like, I get what you're saying 100%. Yeah.
The example I use for that is Chronicles. Chronicles, I don't think they've done for the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
And it was pretty much dismissed as junk. The print runs were huge for that. And the value of those cards were really low. I think the base cards for Chronicles was probably like the lowest regarded cards in the space.
You couldn't sell those for like 10 cents.
You could not. But something like the Luminance subset, particularly say 2018-19, Luca and SGA's rookie year, really, really nice. Like, just to look at. And they're 50 cents, I'm sure. Well, not Luca rookie, but most of them are 50 cents. Yeah. Really nice cards. Really simple.
There was another set in that, and it had like wings on the outside of the guys. I did a couple of sets out of that too, because just for that same reason, I just really enjoyed the cards.
The aesthetic of the cards themselves.
They were like that sort of Donruss material type cards. It was a bit thicker and sort of like not an acetate, but I couldn't agree with you more on that. Just that really nice sort of low end. And the set that I've just finished this week, this is not going to show up at all in the video. It's that 75 years.
Nice.
So I think good job finishing that set off. That was cool.
So the footnote for that is that they released it in 3 different sets. So you had to sort of siphon through it was Optic, Prism, and then Mosaic. And weirdly, they released like the Optic cards in Prism and then the Mosaic.
They messed it up, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And whether they did it on purpose to sort of make you chase a little bit harder, or it was just like we were just all paninied. But
I think I remember hearing that they admitted that they messed it up.
The Mosaic cards were the hardest to get, because I don't know why, if it was just they didn't print enough of them, or whatever happened. So all right, the next thing you've got in here is the storage and organization, because I think this is something actually that is really good to talk about, because either they're stored away in a way that they're easy to stack in your cupboards and they don't take too much space, but then they're very hard to look at, or they're put into the 9 folder pockets and then you have storage issues with that, but they're easier to look at. So where are you at with all that type of stuff? Yeah.
It is hard. Like, there isn't a great way to display lots and lots of cards.
Yeah.
No.
There just isn't. My lower end stuff goes into the binders. That's easy enough to look at. I mean, they do take some space, but it's not too bad. The tricky part I find is slightly more valuable cards. What do you do with them? So I end up top loaders and then the card bins. I don't know if you've seen those kind of rigid plastic, hard plastic bins.
That you can get from like Kmart or something like
Bunnings
that?
or...
no, these are like specifically for cards.
Okay.
The BWC, what is the company? BCW?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They make them.
Yeah.
They're not super cheap, but they're really good for top-loaded cards, and you can fit like hundreds of them.
I think I know the ones you're talking about. When we went to, this is going back a couple of years now, to an EJ trading card day. EJ Cards, they had them for their $10 box or $5 box, and we were going through the top loaders in there. I don't know if Russell remembers. He would have sifted through all of them, but
actually, I do remember those.
That's the plastic.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They're not very practical. Like,
yeah,
you can't really see the cards.
Do they have lids where you can stack them, right? So they're like tubs that you can stack.
Yes. Yeah, they're basically like tubs. You can stack them. Really safe, like really good, but not very. It's not a display.
I use the cardboard ones that hold the top loaders like that. The two rows. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are good. A bit expensive. I think they were like $80 maybe. When I belong.
Storage is always a tricky one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially cost-effective storage.
Yeah.
All right, let's go for a break, and we'll come back and we'll talk about going into breaks and selling and sort of juggling your cost spreadsheet. How about we do that? Yep.
All right.
US Sports Cards Australia, thank you for your ongoing sponsorship and support. We are very grateful for everything you do for us. ussportscardsaustralia.com.au. Go to their website. You will find a whole bunch. Sports breaks. Check out My Cards Australia, singles, collectible protection, hobby boxes, sports memorabilia, and of course, Ross's beloved water pistols. I think the main thing for us to talk about this week is his ComC project. So Ross has been slaving away at this for quite a while now. People who have already submitted their cards are essentially in like for lack of a better word, like a beta testing sort of phase. Ross is at the moment just ironing out all of the kinks in the system. The big announcement that is going to be made very shortly is it's going to have its own spin-off website. So you won't go to ussportscardsaustralia.com.au. In the future, you'll go to ComC
Australia.
Whatever it's going to be. Anyway, he's got his own website for it. Yeah. So that's going to be coming out really soon. I know Ross is really excited about this to, make this announcement and get it out for everybody to see. So guys, if you do want to make your submission to it, just go to US Sports Cards Australia, go on to check out My Cards Australia, click onto the submission form, write on that in capital letters, you can't comp this, you'll get a free submission, which is basically 9 cents off per card. Ross will take care of all of your uploads. He'll do all that for free for you as a thank you for listening to the show. Alrighty, we are back and we're going to continue our conversation with Oyvind, and he's going to talk to us about longevity in the hobby in terms of going into breaks, flipping cards, doing auctions, and selling off some of your collection, and then building your sets up so you can build that into it too, mate. So talk to us about that. Like, what's your sort of philosophy around all of this?
Yeah, I think you definitely see people come in really hard and, and spend all their money basically, and that's a problem. Like, you're not going to last. You definitely need to budget and have a strategy. I think a lot of people do this to a certain extent, but you try and buy and sell and make a few dollars here and there, whether it's boxes or cards or whatever. Yeah, and you just funnel that profit into buying cards. So you don't spend your own hard-earned money, so to speak. So a little bit of that, I think. It's good. Like, more people were in the ecosystem, the better. Definitely think about how much money you're spending. Keep track of it. Otherwise, it just.
How do you keep track of it? Do you use a spreadsheet?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I love spreadsheets. So That's what I use. Have pretty much every card in a spreadsheet. What I paid for it. What set it's from, etc. That's how I can.
And that's all manual data entry stuff, or?
Short answer is yes.
So every card you purchase, you then put into the spreadsheet and...
Yep.
Yeah, right.
And if it's from ComC, it isn't as manual because I can download it.
You can just download it.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
But and if you go to a break and you get a stack of cards,
Well, if it's space that I'm going to throw away, then I
don't say throw away in front of Russell.
Well, actually, don't throw them away. I use them as padding when I ship out stuff.
Same. Russell wouldn't dare do that. That would be sacrilege.
No, I haven't. I'm not sure I have actually thrown away. I mean, I usually give the kids a basketball. That's my current way.
I like that.
Right.
That's my current way I'm getting rid of my mass base. I will admit that, you get to a point where you're like, I've just got too many.
Yeah, so I don't enter those like that. It's just not worth my time. But anything that I might keep or sell.
What about Michael Red? If you had like a Michael Red to 199, would you
anything numbered?
That? Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
What about advice for people on running auctions? Because you and Joel Pettingill, in my opinion, just do like legendary. You put up pretty decent cards sometimes. You put up pretty average cards sometimes, but you just keep putting them up and you store them for people, and then you can bulk post them out. It's really good.
Yeah, mix of quality of the cards that we put up, whatever is on hand really, and some of them.
But sometimes you put up bangers, like that's the other thing too. It's not all just like
some of those cards I bought for perhaps, and I was going to chase that set, and then I changed my mind because I have 100 sets already underway, and so I'll sell those off, or I might get cards from a break actually going to breaks. Just quickly on that, it can be expensive, but obviously fun. The good thing for me, because I don't chase a particular player, I can just use it as a way to get random cards into my hand and have a look at them, so that I can see them and decide, this is nice.
Do you know, I actually didn't know that about you, and that makes a lot of sense about like how you do go from team to team. That actually, it's obvious, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's why I don't go for the same team every time. I might have a look at the checklist.
I was going to say, I just assumed you looked at the checklist and you worked out where the angles were.
Yeah. Like this product has a nice Cleveland card or whatever, what it might be. I might go for that, but I don't have to go for the high value team every time. Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's how I go into breaks and how that works for me anyway.
Great. Any final thoughts you wanted to chuck in?
I don't know. Have we covered? Auctions, sales. It's pretty good, I think.
No, look, honestly, thanks for sharing that, and I think congratulations on your set, because I think it's a really big deal. And then I'm gonna put up your pictures onto social so everyone can see it, and I'll tag in your Instagram, and everyone can basically just check it out, because
sounds good. I did put up my completed sets and the underway sets on Blowout on the forum there. So I kind of every 3 months or so I'll kind of update with pictures of sets that are underway and stuff. So that's where I kind of keep track of that sort of stuff with pictures and everything.
Cool. All right, we probably should go to a break because we've technically missed one today. We'll come back for the last 10 minutes or so, and we'll just do some random topics. And we are back. How are you doing, lads? Are you feeling refreshed?
Ready for the final stretch. Very ready for the final stretch.
Alrighty, this is called Random Topics. I don't think we're going to get through them all, but let's see what we can do.
Knowing my way of segueing, there's no way we're getting through it.
There was a random clip that was put onto Sports Cards Nonsense, and they were talking about the PSA Vault buying back. I went onto their website to read about it, and actually this is something that's been going on for a while, but I just kind of feel like either it's a bit more established and now more people are talking about it, but basically what the deal is, so just say you buy a card off eBay and you automatically send it to the PSA Vault, so that's something that you've been able to do for a while, or you grade a card and you then put it to the PSA Vault.
Yeah.
People can now make you offers on those cards almost automatically. So then you'll receive an inbox and say, I'm offering you $100 for this PSA 9 Jordan, whatever it is.
Okay.
But now eBay is also getting on the action, and they're offering people comps and sometimes above comps. And so eBay's play on this, or how they're making money out of it, they've got a reciprocal deal with like very large repackers. who are then buying all this inventory back in. And it's an interesting little twist because I think as Panini has sort of declined the last 12 months, like with them not having all the autographs, and then Topps don't have official licensed product.
Yeah.
It does seem like there's a little bit of a vacuum that is being filled up by repackers. And there's sort of a few stories going around about that. And so, look, I just wanted to talk to you guys about this and say, where are you at with this? Do you think this is healthy? Do you think it's good? I personally think this is fantastic. The only thing where I think it can be or could be manipulated is similar to what happened with Veriswap. So people were sending in dodgy cards to it. And because there's no one actually
vetting
I need to be very careful, like the way I say this, but there's no one essentially checking what's what. They're making sure that the transaction happens safely, but there's not that sort of in between person actually looking at it, and verifying the card.
The oversight that normally,
I wonder if, yes, this is a fantastic system and you can see how everyone would then profit. But like hypothetically, what that could then create is like scammer over here sends their card into PSA or to eBay and it gets sold. It then goes to PSA Vault, who then no one looks at it. A repacker buys it, puts it into a random pack, buys it onto a feed, sells it and posts it out to the person. So it's essentially gone through like 6 different people's hands and ends up in some poor bastard's hand at the end of it out of a repack. Like that, to me, that's a scenario in my head that could happen. And I don't think that's like even a conspiracy theory. So look, I actually think these are really, really good things for the hobby. And and by the way, I'm not throwing shade at Veriswap. I think we've had him on the show.
Not at all. Yeah.
I've reached out to him, again for comment about what's happening. And I really hope that they just work it out because I think if Veriswap goes away, that's bad for the hobby. That's not a good thing. So,
agreed.
Yeah, and I put this into the same category. I just hope that there's something in place to sort of, I'm going to steal your words here, Adam, but regulate the hobby.
Well, I was going to say, it seems like the hobby's actually crying out for certain controls because it's being exposed in certain areas.
Yeah.
And that just drives the focus to where the attention's needed.
I think as there's more money, people are going to try and look for ways to, mess people over. I think that's, it's easy to say that.
Of course. And hopefully that brings along, some regulation, some sort of regulation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they're not going to be spending that money for long if they find out that they're not getting
if it's not a safe space to transact, people will eventually move away from it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Malik Beasley is no longer a target of the federal gambling investigation conducted by the Eastern District of New York. That comes from @thescore on Instagram. I need to apologize. I also need to eat a bit of humble pie on this. I can't believe that he didn't get put in prison. Like the clips that were put together on this guy was outrageous. I mean, how do you explain that? If they can't prove it. I mean, there is a difference between having suspicions of somebody and, proving it in a court of law.
That's true.
I was actually talking to someone about this over drinks, and I'm like, there is no way the NBA didn't start regulated or legalized gambling on their product and not anticipate this was going to happen.
If they didn't, there's no way. You can't actually do that. There's no way.
No. Michael Porter Jr. then goes onto social media this week and literally says,
this guy's an idiot.
You can tell your homies that I'm going to come out of the game this week, bet on my under. And whilst I don't think that, I think it's very poor timing in the sense that his brother has been kicked out of the league for doing it. Like, I think I would also say, though, that what he said, I actually don't think that's controversial. I think that is common effing sense. Like, and he's actually saying what people should be listening to in the sense that, like, that is the reality of the situation. You've got people here coming from extremely poor backgrounds. Yeah. And $10,000 is, if you're on a minimum wage, what's that, 20 weeks work?
Yeah. Money's money, right?
Yeah.
He said a lot of weird stuff over the past few weeks.
We don't have time to cover all of it, but I thought, most relevant, and I think that's the thing that we should criticize Michael Porter Jr. the least about. Like, I think that's just an honest conversation that, probably needs to be had in this space. And, look, RIP, if you're a Michael Porter Jr. collector, though, I think his value is going to tank hard in Brooklyn. And if this is the sign of things to come, like, did you see? Sorry,
I'd be betting on his unders.
I am going to talk about
one
video. Did you see about the one where they possessed his car and what he said to the guy?
No.
He was basically trying to call him out as like a person of color, and then the guy's like, "I'm Hispanic. Like, I'm not even African American.
Like, what's wrong with you?" Yeah.
Oh man, that was
so bad. It's so
excellent.
bad.
All right, we've still got a few more minutes. Nikola Jokic sale. This is coming from our friends at Card Ladder. We've spoken about this guy in the past in terms of buying him and holding him long term. I think this is another good example of this. This is his immaculate RPA PSA 8. This last sold for 6,900. If you're looking at the all-time data on this, which I think this is what the graph is, it's showing it to us. This is just a straight line up. I can't imagine it's going to continue like that, but at the same time, I think there is going to be some ongoing...
You can't see it dropping, right?
No, I don't think it's going to drop, but I think that very sharp upward graph that we're seeing here, if that flattens out but still continues to go up, I would probably, be anticipating that. But look, I think that's a really good buy. Yeah. I think that the irony is for me is that I've been looking at some of these cards the last sort of 12 months and that you could get a raw card of this, I feel like, for about $1,000. And so look, maybe the market's changed again in the last sort of, 6 months or so. But, I just kind of feel like the irony is for me, a lot of these cards, particularly, in the lower grades and raw, like they're not out of reach. Like they're still...
No, not at all.
They're still very, purchasable. So if you do believe in Jokic, don't do a Russell. Seize the day and
seize the day indeed. Hey.
This next one is from Collect Media, CLLCT Media. It's a clip of an interview with Ken Golden, but basically what he's saying is that it's unfair that Topps produce a card, issue a redemption,
and then put a bounty on it.
And then have the first right of purchasing it from the person because they've got all the contact details and they can directly reach out to the person to list it onto their own platform. So clearly Ken's conflict of interest here, or his angle of interest, is that he has an auction platform and he wants the card on that. So like, let's keep it real here. This is what he's talking about here. I think the interesting conversation piece around this is that it seems to me a lot of Fanatics business practices are around directly this. They're not interested in offering other people business. They are trying to build their own distribution, their own production.
They're building a one-stop shop.
Their own auction house, their own, sales platform, the whole thing. Like they want to do breaks even.
Ethically, if we're talking about regulating the hobby, is it fair though? Like, I mean, I know Ken Golden's got enough money and he can go and get stuffed with regards to how he feels about it all. But as a community,
whether it's fair or not, I don't know. But to answer that question specifically, I can actually answer this. I feel like really, really well. This is the difference between Panini and Fanatics, right? Panini, what they did was they let everybody eat. They let distribution eat. They let breakers eat. They let Steel City. They let David Adams
everybody.
eat. They let card shop owners eat. The whole thing, right? And they didn't have a vested interest in like selling people top loaders to get allocation and all this like nonsense that they're doing.
Yeah.
Whereas these guys, it's like, I'm really interested to see how other people are going to be able to eat in the hobby. So, for example, the classic example for me, and I think this is what I want, probably talk to you guys about right now, is let's think about our friends at Fast Break.
Yep.
I think it's fair to say that hobby shops are heavily reliant on allocation of stock to make them have like a viable business.
Yep.
How is Fanatics going to make Alvaro and John have a viable business?
Yep.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Do you think that they're going to do that for other hobby shops, give them a viable existence? Yeah.
I think other shops will have to play by their rules, I guess would be the simple way of calling it.
Yeah.
I don't know what those rules look like. And I don't know if those rules are fair and reasonable, but I do know if you don't play, you're out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not very subtle.
Yeah, that's it.
So far.
Yeah.
That's the scary part of it. I do like a lot of the innovation. I do like a lot of what I'm seeing coming out of it, but the way they're executing is concerning me.
Definitely very aggressive. Oyvind, you got any thoughts on this, man?
No, just exactly that. Like, they want to control everything, it seems. And some concerns, I think, about how they're going to go about things and how they're going to treat
Yeah.
people who disagree, and they're just going to cut them out.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's it is very yeah. You're either with us or against us kind of deal.
Yeah.
There's room for everybody kind of feeling about that. It's yeah.
This next one is from the @the_dunk central, so not Centel, Central. I double checked that before I read it out. Matt Ishbia, so he is the owner of the Phoenix Suns, calls out NBA experts for sleeping on the Suns next season. I'm not worried about what the so-called experts think. They had us as a title contender the past 2 years and were wrong then. So I think now's a really good time just to recap the Phoenix Suns roster. So they're absolutely loaded at the point guard and shooting guard position. They've got Grayson Allen, Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks. They picked up Jalen Green. So I have no idea what that rotation is going to look like.
They're reinventing small ball.
After that, who have they got? Jordan Goodwin. Yeah, they're going to be like Phoenix Suns, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, Kevin Johnson 2.0, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. Who knows what
with the worst players, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Royce O'Neal, Nick Richards, Mark Williams. Like, what are they doing?
That went south so quick,
so fast. Yeah, I mean, if you can bet on an under,
yeah. Only a few years ago, they were right there.
They made it to the finals, right?
Yeah. I'm glad I'm not a Suns fan at the moment.
Yeah, painful.
It's pretty crazy. It's actually, it's insane.
Ralph Sampson, this is a quote from Central, not Centel. Ralph Sampson says he would average 30 and 20 in today's NBA. I could have played in this era for sure and would probably dominate the game more than I dominated the game in the past. 30 and 20, easy. They say I'm Wemby the first. He's Wemby the second. But I'm Ralph the first. He's Ralph the second. I could post up, I could dribble, and I could shoot outside. We didn't shoot many threes when I played, but I'm sure my mindset would have been really tough to play, and I'd be elite at level at this game.
I think whatever drugs they've got him on in the nursing home, they need to maybe get him off them for a little bit, but before they let him speak with the media.
This comparing eras is really
hard.
Really hard.
It's really hard.
It is.
Yeah.
It's really hard. You can't do it without sort of you can't just take Ralph Sampson then and put him now, because it's a different game. He's physically, people are different. Like, things have changed, and it's not fair either way. Like, going back or forwards to make a straight comparison. If he grew up now, he would be a completely different person and different player, and he might well dominate. I there's no way to say.
Look, I've actually watched my fair share of Ralph Sampson because I was a Hakeem fan. So, like, for me, I kind of feel like I can chime in on this. I think he was a better athlete than Wemby.
Okay.
But I don't think he was more skilled in terms of, like, fundamentals, in terms of, like, passing from the high post and fluidity of his jump shot and also his three ball. I think Sampson probably could have, like, added that to his game with a current context. Like, I get what he's saying on that, and I probably do agree with it. But I do think maybe the difference here is Sampson's defensive impact was that front court of Hakeem and Sampson was, like, insane. And to score in the paint against those guys was like, I don't think that Wemby has that same sort of intensity in the paint that Sampson did. And maybe also too is, being paired up with Hakeem, I suppose that might have changed my opinion a little bit. But yeah. I'm not too sure about this guy. I think it would be funny though if there was like someone actually took this up as a joke, and then you could get a Wemby jersey that said Ralph II on the back. Like,
asking him to cuss.
That's a deep cut though, isn't it? I feel like that's like, that's a total like nerd thing. All right, Jordan to close. This is a huge, huge card. Again, this is from the real guy, and this is probably not the best. Here we go. If you watch the clip for a couple of seconds, we can actually pause on it. It's the Molten Metal card. We've actually discussed this card in the past before. So this is literally the card that has got the holes drilled into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the numbers like physically cut out of the card. This is going up for auction.
Molten Metal, Fusion Titanium, Michael Jordan.
So I'm pretty sure that's what the upshot of this video is. So I think we should probably track this card too, because super, super, super rare, these cards. It's sold for $180,000. in May 24. And I think the other thing that he was pointing out to in this video is that we froth over PMGs, but actually this is much rarer than a PMG in terms of like total population count. So, boys, we've made it to the end.
We did successfully.
Thank you, Oyvind. Thank you for coming on.
Actually, I as a closing thought, I just need to, if someone is looking for guidance, what would be your top 3 things to convey or educate a new collector, someone that's coming in to collect sets? What's the top 3 things to focus on? Yeah.
To collect sets. I'd definitely start with something cheap and low end just to get your footing, right? Figure out where to buy, how much money it costs, because things aren't necessarily obvious. You've got shipping, and if you're buying in the US, you might have storage costs or, various things, right? So definitely sort of ease your way into it. That would be the main thing. Otherwise, don't be afraid to reach out to people. There's a bunch of good people around. Australia has a pretty good community. So get onto the pages and chat to people. I think a lot of people are happy to talk and share their experiences. I think that's really valuable. Those are probably the main things that come to mind.
Cool. And as far as budget goes?
Budget,
I guess budget or patience. Like do you have a schedule?
Well, I was going to mention this before. Like, depending on what you collect, if you collect lower end stuff, just be patient. Like, don't jump in. Certainly not after release. Like, just hang on and collect it the year after, even, because the prices are going to come down for those. Unless you
don't need 300 cards in 100 days, kind of thing.
No,
it's a marathon, not a sprint.
That's right. Right. If it's something rare. Well, if you're starting out, I would say stay away.
Stay away from the big set chase.
If you're been in the game and you have money and you want to do rare collecting, like set collecting or rare collecting cards in general, you pretty much have to go straight away after the product's released, because otherwise those cards will disappear into people's PCs and they won't surface very much at all. So if you're going for something rare, go hard and fast. But otherwise, just take your time.
Excellent. Yeah, I had my experience with set collecting this year, I guess, with AFL. So I collected all the insert sets after the base set. All the lower end stuff, but it was buying bulk lots and going through things and then searching for individual cards. And because it's AFL and it's localized, it's actually harder to get the individuals. But it was an interesting experience. And now I have 3 folders full of football cards.
That's nice.
Yeah. I think I'll move to basketball, though. I think I can be more patient. 3 months of football madness was enough for me.
Alrighty, boys. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks
so much.
Welcome back, Russell.
I'm not that happy to be home.
Next time you go on holidays, we're hijacking
Bali was
the pod
pretty
as well.
great. I'm not going to lie to you.
Sorry. Andrew and Dan are keen to hijack the pod whenever you disappear, so...
See you, everybody.
See you guys.
Thank you.